Hello and welcome to RwandaTV News in English, this 19th day of April, with me, William Evans, beginning with the headlines. President Paul Kagame has sent a written message to the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, reaffirming the strong ties between the two countries. While Thomas L. Green Kenneth, a Finnish national who helped track down genocide suspects, has been recognized by Rwanda for his contribution to justice. Pleasure is having you. Now this is the news in detail. President Paul Kagame has sent a written message to the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, reaffirming the strong ties between the two countries. The message was delivered by Rwanda's Minister of Interior, Honorable Dr. Vincent Biruta, during an official visit to Doha, where he handed it over to his Qatar counterpart, Sheikh Khalifa bin Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. According to Qatar's Ministry of Interior, the message focuses on further strengthening bilateral relations and expanding cooperation. During the visit, the two ministers reviewed the current state of collaboration between Rwanda and Qatar, particularly in the area of security, where both countries maintain closer cooperation. They also exchanged views on regional and international issues of mutual interest. Rwanda and Qatar continue to deepen their partnership across multiple sectors, reflecting growing diplomatic and strategic engagement between the two countries. Kigali is undergoing rapid transformation, with major infrastructure and urban development projects reshaping the city. Analysts say that these investments are not only improving living conditions, but also creating new opportunities for business and long-term growth. We do have details. Across Kigali, large-scale development projects are expanding at a pace, signaling a city on the move. Among them is the rehabilitation of wetlands aimed at boosting economic productivity and making better use of previously underutilized land. These areas are being redesigned to host recreation and commercial activities, expected to create jobs for local residents. These are very supportive projects, especially to the young people. Usually, due to lack of employment, many end up engaging in bad habits, but when such big projects happen, a number of them get employment and they are kept out of bad habits because they are busy making some money for their personal development. My plan is to buy a plot of land by the end of this project. I began with building a house for my mother, but it is still ongoing, and I have 3 siblings that I support. I am looking forward to benefiting a lot more from this project. At the same time, efforts are underway to address unplanned settlements and relocate residents from high-risk zones. In Nyabisindu Gasabo district, a modern housing project made up of apartment blocks is taking shape, offering safe and more organized living conditions. Residents set to move in say that they expect significant improvements in the quality of their life. This place was chaos before. It was almost impossible to get to our homes because of the poor road conditions. But following the changes we are seeing, we notice it's a big improvement and development. This area is going to be a visionary and model settlement for the city of Kigali. We shall be living in a great place, and this is but an important milestone for us as citizens staying in Kigali. Road construction and expansion projects are also accelerating across the city. These are expected to ease traffic congestion, improve mobility, and enhance the movement of goods and people. Urban development experts say that Kigali's progress offers a model for other African cities.
There's this conscious effort by the government to take people to, for instance, low-risk areas. I've had the opportunity of visiting, is it Karama? Yeah, Model Village. That was fantastic. All right. So if you see the buildings, the area, everything is really good. They have schools, almost everything that can make people comfortable is there. That was really great. And this is something that we expect many government to be doing. So for that project, you can clearly see that the government thought of the people all right, we were told that many were moved from high-risk zone. Means that the government considered climate issue and said, no, you people are living here. It's not good, so we need to move you to a low-risk area. And they did that. And they moved them to an area that is now low risk, and people are really comfortable.
Kigali's transformation is also gaining international recognition. In 2024, the world's best awards ranked it among the top 3 most popular cities in Africa for tourism and leisure. The publication Jeune Afrique also placed Kigali first among African cities with the best access to healthcare services. And according to the International Congress and Convention Association, Kigali ranked second in Africa for hosting major international meetings. As students across Rwanda are returning to school today as the third term begins, marking the final stretch of the academic year. For many, this is a crucial period leading up to national examinations. We do have details. After a 2-week break in early April, students in nursery, primary and secondary schools are back in class for the third term of the 2025-2026 academic year. For candidates preparing for national examinations, including those completing primary, lower secondary and upper secondary education, the focus is now firmly on revision and performance. Many say they're returning with renewed determination to succeed, prioritizing key subjects and making better use of their time. I have been doing my revision at home during holidays so that I am able to return to school when I still remember what was taught. Usually, we begin with beginning of term exams, so I revise to pass them well, and I'm targeting good performance at the end of the term because this is my last year. I usually revise chemistry a lot more than other subjects. I'm going to try my level best to revise and do my preps well so that I succeed this term, and I also do some physical exercises. Parents say they use the holiday period to support their children with revision and will continue to monitor their progress closely in the weeks ahead. I escorted a student in their final year. During holidays, we supported him revise his books and limited his time on phones and television so that he can pass. On the other hand, school leaders say they are intensifying academic supervision to ensure students are well prepared before the exams. We are ready to keep supporting our students, especially those getting ready to sit for their final exams. They will be getting assessments as the term begins to assess how they are doing. However, education authorities say that attendance at the start of the term remains lower than expected. The Director General in charge of Quality Assurance and School Inspection at the National Examination and School Inspections Authority, Vianney Kavutse, is calling for stronger collaboration between parents and schools to ensure students return on time. He emphasizes that constant attendance is essential for academic success. When a term commences, teachers begin teaching. I would encourage all parents to ensure that all their children begin on time so that students begin the term at the same time. Also, for the teachers and school heads, I encourage them to be ready to receive these students and to kick off the term in a timely manner. According to NESA, the third term runs from 20th of April until 3rd of July 2026. For the previous story, Mr. Kavutse Vianney August is the head of Department for Basic Education and TVET Quality Assurance, not the Director General in charge of Quality Assurance and Inspection. A Finnish national who helped track down genocide suspects has been recognized by Rwanda for his contribution to justice. Thomas Elfgren Kenneth, now a Rwandan citizen known as Ramba, played a key role in the arrest and prosecution of individuals linked to the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. We do have details.
I came to Rwanda was because I was...
It was March 2007 when Finnish investigator Thomas Elfgren Kenneth first arrived in Rwanda. He was leading a team investigating the role of Francois Bazaramba in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, particularly in the former Nyakizu commune in what was then Butare prefecture. The goal was to gather evidence for his prosecution in Finland.
And I had a lot of experience from international investigations already before that. And my expectations were that it's going to be very difficult. But the Rwandan authorities, the Rwandans were very forthcoming, and from that perspective it was really easy to initiate the investigation and go and get the evidence. I worked for 5 years in Rwanda, and as a result of our investigation he was prosecuted in Finland. And then what happened was something extraordinary, was that the court from Finland came to Rwanda and took the witness statements from the victims and the survivors in Rwanda.
At the time, Jean Bosco Mutangana was heading Rwanda's Genocide Fugitive Tracking Unit. He says Thomas Ramba played a crucial role not only in tracking Bazaramba, but also in his arrest and eventually trial in Finland.
So all I can say is that I remember his contribution was very good, because having teams coming from foreign countries to work with the Prosecutor General's office at that time was one of the big steps that we needed, because I remember that unit was established around 2006 or 7, and we had to start from scratch by working with countries through diplomatic channels, tracking genocidaires who are hiding in foreign countries as fugitives. And not only Thomas, we had so many others from different countries: Belgium, Denmark, Norway, United States, France, and Canada, if I remember. They all worked closely with our office at that time to track those genocidaires. But coming back to Thomas himself, he was very much committed and coming over here. But as far as I remember him, like 20 years ago, 18, 19 years ago, he did well in helping us to process the investigations and prosecutions of the suspect who was detained in Finland, his country. So I would say briefly that Finland worked closely with us through Thomas, and I appreciate his contribution towards justice of our country.
Beyond the courtroom, Ramba also contributed to efforts to preserve memory. According to Rwanda's ambassador in Finland, he supported initiatives to establish a genocide memorial in the country.
ariko ikindi yagize uruhare runini mu kufasha abacitse ku icumu rya jenoside yakorewe abatutsi.
He played a key role in helping survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi. As we speak, he's a member of the Ibuka in Finland, and I can say that Finland became among the first countries in Europe to grant us a memorial site for the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. This is a very important thing, and we are grateful to the government of Finland, and above all to Thomas, because he worked tirelessly together with Ibuka and advocated for the establishment of a memorial site in Finland. And as of today, it's the only country where we have a memorial site for the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. He is an author, and quite often he's also hosted on Finland televisions and is not afraid to speak the truth. I can say that he is indeed a Rwandan with integrity who supports by sharing the facts around the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. In recognition of his contribution, he was granted Rwandan citizenship 2 years ago and given a Kinyarwanda name.
I remember still the moment when I was sitting on the aircraft. We were landing on the airport, and I was still thinking that I hopefully can get away from here as soon as possible. The picture I had of Rwanda is very much the same as still many people in Europe and the Western world have it. That Rwanda is a poor country with no security, there are dead people on the streets. That was the picture I had. It took me like 5 minutes to fall in love in Rwanda. The first impression I still have is the moment when we came to the passport control. It welcome to the land of the thousand hills and a million smiles. That very much changed immediately my impression. And it was further changed when we stepped out from the airport building, and there was Inhoare warriors drumming, and we thought it was for us. So the trip from the airport to Serena Hotel, that's how I changed my mind. Now, 20 years later, I'm a Rwandan citizen. I live here, my family is from here, and I'm now retired, very happy to be here.
Francois Bazaramba, who was sentenced to life imprisonment, died in prison early this year in Finland. His arrest came after extensive international cooperation involving over 1,000 legal documents issued across more than 30 countries to track genocide suspects. Survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rukumberi say that historical evidence clearly shows the genocide was planned and systematically executed, condemning any attempts to deny or distort that history. They made the remarks during the 32nd commemoration, which was also included the dignified burial of newly recovered bodies at the Rukumberi Genocide Memorial. Testimonies from survivors highlight that Tutsi were deliberately relocated to Rukumberi from other parts of the country in what they described as a strategy to concentrate and later target them. One survivor, Prote Rutagarama, recalled that acts of violence and persecution had already begun years before 1994, pointing to clear signs of preparation. Another survivor, Kabanyana, emphasized that the genocide was not spontaneous but the result of a long-planned process. Speaking at the event, Minister of State for Education, Claudette Irere, called on both young and old to play their role in building a united Rwanda free from division. During the ceremony, 11 bodies were laid raised at the memorial, bringing the total number buried there to over 45,000. Residents of Rukoma sector have commemorated Tutsi killed in the former Tawa commune, once led by Jean-Paul Akayezu during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The 32nd commemoration began with the wreath-laying ceremony at Chatenga Hill, a site where many victims were killed and their bodies thrown into mining pits. Survivors recount that killings in the area began April 19th in 1994 before intensifying as Tutsi were rounded up and taken up to Chatenga and killed in large numbers. Testimonies describe how victims were thrown into pits under brutal circumstances, highlighting the scale and cruelty of the violence. Speaking at the commemoration, Member of Parliament Patrick Priska Mujawayezu commended survivors from Rukoma for their role in advancing justice, particularly in contributing to the conviction of those responsible for the genocide. Jean-Paul Akayezu was found guilty by an international tribunal and sentenced to life imprisonment. Now in Nyaruguru district, survivors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi have commended victims killed in the valley of Akanyaru River and surrounding waterways. During the 32nd commemoration, residents gathered along the Akanyaru River where wreaths were laid in memory of those who were killed and their bodies thrown into the river. Survivors recall that many Tutsi attempting to flee to Burundi were intercepted and killed in the river valleys of Akanyaru, Agatobwe, and Mijina. They also recount that while some forces collaborated in the killings, others across the border helped those who managed to escape. One survivor, Vensaru Rangwa, says that life after survival reflects a stark contrast, highlighting a Rwanda that now promotes inclusion and equal opportunity for all citizens. Speaking at the event, Senator Uwera emphasized that the country's commitment to unity and building a nation that belongs to everyone. Victims commemorated on April 19th had fled from former communes including Mubuga, Rwimiko, Runyinya and Nyakizu, Kigembe and Gishamvu before being killed in the river valleys. that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin, and of course, the 100 days of the commemoration of 32nd commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi continues. From me and the rest of the team, we hope that you continue loving on the survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi. Have a good night. Goodbye.